Okay, in this episode, I'm gonna go over 4 unique items that most people don't even think about for their bug out bags. Everybody always thinks of the common items, but I'm gonna go over these 4 unique items. And the first one is gonna throw everybody off a little bit, but it is such a great item. Let's get into that right now. This is an item I got off Amazon, and it's little individual packets of Manuka honey. I'll show you that right now. So you open this up, and you've got little individual packets. Show that right there. What's so good about Manuka honey? First, let me just say with these individual packets, you can put one in everybody's bug out bag, everybody's first aid kit, in your vehicle, in your car. Manuka honey is a natural honey that's only from one part of like New Zealand, and the healing qualities of this honey are just wonderful. You cut yourself, you pack it in with Manuka honey, it prevents infection. It can be used for so many different things. Use it on burns, use it on anything. Believe it or not, I don't even know which finger it is anymore, but when we were moving, I got my finger stuck in a hitch gate thing on a trailer and completely smashed my finger. I mean, a friend was helping me move and he freaked, he just thought it was so bad. It looked horrible and I thought I was gonna lose the fingernail. I packed it with Manuka honey because we have a big tube of it and bandages and just kept changing it out. I just had stitches. I used Manuka honey on the stitches to prevent infection. I can't even spend the time needed to explain the benefits of Manuka honey, but the problem with it is they're usually in big tubes or bigger containers. So these individual packets like this are perfect. You can pack them in anything. And if you've watched my other videos, you've seen that I carry the little MAXPEDITION Platy. And look at that. You could fit one of these inside of there and have a little packet, a little first aid packet inside there and carry this honey. And believe it or not, I'll go all Bear Grylls. In a worst case survival situation, you could eat this. It would give you some calories. I've never eaten Manuka honey. I don't see why you can't eat it. Or, so number 1 item that most people wouldn't even think about is this Manuka honey, individual packets. Item number 2 is a Sillcock key. They're pretty inexpensive. I got a 2-pack, or I got a chrome one and a black one. So what is a Sillcock key? It's a key designed for like municipalities and things like that. It can open water faucets that municipalities have the handles removed, or they have some kind of locking systems on there to prevent, the random people from turning on the water. So as you can see, this has a bunch of different actual shape openings. And I used to think these Sillcock keys were only for urban preppers, people in the city. I've seen water spigots with these different key heads on them and just never thought there was any benefit for me, a guy out in the middle of nowhere, to have one of these. My wife and I were hiking on one of the many parks out here, and we came up to one of the areas near where they used to have restrooms and things like that, and they were shut down for the season. One of the things I noticed is they use Sillcock keys heads on there, and one of these would have fit, and I could have, in an emergency, if I needed water, I could have turned on the water. These are beneficial to have because you should carry some water, you should carry a filter, but you should also have an alternative, very light way to possibly get some additional water. Sillcock keys are pretty inexpensive. I think I paid less than $10 for the 2-pack. Just a good item that everybody should have. I mean, it's a good thing to have one in your vehicle, have one in your bug out bag. The next item I'm gonna go over is Savior brand mini bags. And they come in 2 different sizes, but this is the mini and this is the regular. And what are they? They're just little zippered nylon, ballistic, like really good Condor nylon, very well made little bags with handles on both ends, drainage hole, double zippers, and just and they have a Velcro patch right here. What's so cool about that? You get a package of 4 of these. They give you 8 of these Velcro blank patches that you can take a Sharpie and write. You can write, 22 caliber and dump all your 22 ammo in there. You can put shaving, overnight bag kit. You can do whatever you need to make, mini medical kit, bleed kit, stop the bleed kit, whatever you want, you can write it on there. If you have allergies or medication, you can put, my medication, just whatever, and you can swap these off since they're Velcro and use them for anything. The coolest feature about these, for me at least, is you can get them in very cool retro patterns. I got the M81 Woodland and I got the desert night camo from the first Gulf War. And you can get chocolate chip desert, and if you're not as tactical, you want to go more for the gray man, they offer like gray, I think like blue, just some like red, just some like really basic colors. But like I said, these are just so well made and very good material. They're real Condor nylon. They're not that cheap polyester that's gonna crack. They've got a nylon lining in them, and you can just store all kinds of cool stuff in them. And the zipper pulls are 550 cord. Granted, it's only a small amount, but if you needed a small piece of cord for something in an emergency, they've got handles on both ends, so you could clip this on, and they're just a great way to organize your bug out bag. You can use these and just toss stuff in there. You know, like I said, an overnight kit, shaving kit. They're just so good to have for organization, because a lot of people forget about the organizational aspect, and that's gonna bring me to my last item that most people don't even know about or wouldn't think about. The next one I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna show a specific brand one, but it's not so specific. It's gonna be bug out bag drop-in organizers. So the first one I have here is, this one is made by Condor. And what do I mean by a drop-in bag organizer? So as you can see, this is just, it almost looks like a little bag. So here is a bug out bag. Here's one of my bags. This is a Spec Ops The Pack bag. Probably one of the best bug out bags if money is no object and you can spend, you know, because these are ridiculously expensive now. This one I've had for a long time. But say I carry stuff in this all the time that's part of my bug out kit that never changes. But I have other backpacks that I want to change from this backpack. This is great for when I'm in the Ozarks like I am now, but next week I need to run back to Wisconsin, and I'm going to be in Milwaukee in the city. I don't want to have a woodland camo bag, so I'm going to switch to my Mystery Ranch little, you know, pack that's more gray man, will blend in the city. How do I take my most used items that I always carry and switch it to my city bag? Or say you have a 24-hour bag, 36-hour bag, and you have a, you know, 48-hour bag, but you have core items that are the same for all of them, and you want to just be able to swap it from one bag to the other. You use a pack insert. So with the pack insert, you just, you would take your core items and just drop this into the pack. And then when you want to switch packs or just need this stuff quickly, you grab the handle and pull this out. This could be great for your survival items, your medical items, and then everything else non-essential could just be packed around this, but you could still pull this out. And when I talk about other brands and other styles, this style, I'll go into a little bit more detail. It Velcros open like that, and then it flips open long ways. And then you have some panels here that have elastic and MOLLE webbing, and they're also held on with Velcro. And then the top of it is bigger pouches that are clear, so you can see the contents. This one's mesh, and then this one's clear again. And these ones are also Velcroed on there. So if any of you don't know, there's companies like Vertx, Blackhawk, and a bunch of other companies make pouches that are Velcro with the hook backing, because a lot of fanny packs, backpacks have loop soft Velcro like this on the inside. So you could actually take these pouches off too and Velcro them into backpacks like that too, or change out these pouches to suit your needs a little bit better. But how neat would that be to have your core essential items and just be able to take them out quickly? Maybe you are leaving your vehicle or leaving your bug out bag, but you want to go check out something and you just need some small items. You can just pull this out and there's everything you could need. You could also take out the Velcro in one of these and put in a Velcro holster and Velcro magazine pouches. The other style of these, London Bridge Trading and a bunch of generic companies on Amazon sell a similar one that is just one panel like this with handle on top, and it has MOLLE webbing on there. So you can put your own MOLLE pouches on there. I will put an overlay like right here so you can see one of those. The London Bridge one is like $30. These are a little pricey. I got this on sale, so I paid like $25 shipped. I think the retail is like $50, which is a little expensive, but then you got to take into consideration that, once I get it open, it does come with 3 pouches right here and then 2 organizational panels right here. So even if you figure on the cheap, these are each $10 each, you know, that's still $50 just in pouches. Not many pouches you can get nowadays for $10. So $50 for this whole thing is really not that bad. And it's just a unique way to organize your bug out bag and have core items that you can just pull out quickly, because nothing is worse than needing a medical kit and it's buried in the bottom of your bag. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully these items are something you could use in your bug out bag and help you organize it and get and access things quicker. And hopefully items such as the Sillcock key are never needed, but it's great to have in case you do need it. It's so light, so cheap, and it's just one of those items that better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Because yeah, you can use a Leatherman, but some of those heads on there makes using a Leatherman really difficult to use because they have the anti-theft style head on there. And that Sillcock key is just so easy to use. And the savior pouches, they're just, organization in your bug out bag is paramount, and it's one of those things that you will find so many other uses for those little bags. Like, I'm trying to come up with an excuse to buy the chocolate chip desert ones just because chocolate chip desert is pretty cool. But hopefully this was helpful. Thanks again, preppers and homesteaders who are watching this, because it's crazy out there. So keep on prepping, because it's a good thing. Unrelated but related. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I was watching the other day and I did a search for, because everybody's talking about Civil War, collapse of America, blah, 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 blah. I did a search for it and all these videos popped up, you know, how to prepare for the collapse of America. Some were dated yesterday and some were dated 10 years ago. So what does that tell you? We don't know. But one thing we do know is it is better to be prepared than unprepared. Hopefully this will help you get a little closer to being more prepared and better organized. And until next time, thanks again for watching. And I'm glad to be posting and streaming from deep in the Ozarks, but you may be in the city, I am here, but together we are like-minded and want to be prepared, because a prepared America is a better America. I read something and I heard something that only 10% of Americans are self-sufficient. So even just being slightly prepared puts you closer to that 10% of Americans. There's just so many that are not even prepared at all and not ready for even the most small, minor emergency or issue. So thanks again. Until next time. And I'm gonna go do some hiking. So bye. Till next time. Bye. Big camera. I'm still waiting for the temperature in my water to be perfect. It's still warming up. I'm gonna end it there. Thanks. Like and subscribe. I gotta support this shirt. It was a gift. I love it. I do. So thanks again.